So, welcome to another Wargame review from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we're just having a chat about some of the expansions for Warfighter World War II Pacific.
Yep.
So we played today with the Japanese expansion 1 and 2 and the Pacific American expansion 1 and 2. Really, it's expansions like 14 and 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's 14, 15, 16, 17. But they did Pacific, and then they've got a series of expansions. So Japanese expansions 1 and 2 give you more Japanese enemies for you to fight against, but mostly it gives you Japanese player characters. So you get Japanese soldiers, Japanese NPS, which are non-player soldiers, and Japanese squaddies. So you can play as the Japanese. And the American expansions add American adversaries.
Hostiles,
Yeah,
right?
hostiles. Frontline and elites. So that you as Japanese can fight against them.
Yeah, those elite mortar crews. Wow.
Yikes.
Torched us.
So yeah, most of those, a lot of it is flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
It
It doesn't really change the game. I mean, the game is really the same.
Yes.
It's just a little bit of Japanese flavor.
Yes.
A lot of the NPSs had like hand-to-hand scores better than the American NPSs or squads did. That was one thing I noticed.
And a lot of the Japanese squad soldiers have an ability called His Number Was Up.
Right.
Which is a self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
When you draw a hostile card, whether it's putting a guy out or if you for a reinforcement, you can just sacrifice a guy. He just dies and you discard that card.
Yeah. That was, I don't know that we actually ever did that.
No, because I was trying to risk it.
Well, we really were doing well until the very last round.
And that's the one thing that I noticed. I purchased like 4 squaddies along with my player soldier. And I've never played that way before, to have that many just...
We've had one or two plebs.
But like this guy, I had 2 3-value guys and 2 2-value guys, and then my main dude. And I got these guys basically as cannon fodder, because I was thinking human wave, banzai charge, let's do this. And 3 out of 4 of them had that ability, and I was like, I can use it if I need to. But none of the enemies, I was like, ugh, I'll just sacrifice a guy. Because I was like, I think I'd rather have real cannon fodder than just one-shot my guys out so they became downed. So it was a very interesting option to have there, but I didn't use it.
Yeah, it just didn't come up.
But the very cheap cost values of the squad soldiers, I don't know if there's more cheap ones for the Japanese, but I felt like that was a much more
so than the Americans.
I felt with the Americans, the guys are more like 6 or 7.
5 or 6.
And you can't have 5 of those guys.
No.
You just can't. You don't have the points cost usually in some of the smaller missions.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you can have a bunch of kind of low-level guys.
So that was different.
An interesting.
Yeah, that was different.
And the other major difference is the weapons.
Yep. Type 100 machine gun, Type 11, Type 99 rifle. I mean, they're just...
And we didn't play with the knee mortars, but those are pretty nice as well. I think there's is it a 9mm mortar, is that what it is?
Yeah, just make sure guys have a lot more range.
Type 89 grenade discharger, that's what it is. It's a knee mortar.
Yeah.
But with the weapons across all of the different nations, the differences are very nuanced, but they're there, right? Yeah. So I had a submachine gun that could have a bipod that adds spray.
Yeah.
The Americans definitely don't have that.
No, they do not.
And the way that interacts with the different skill cards that you have, that's where you get into the nuances, and that's where you see the differences in the faction as well, mostly.
The other thing I think with the weapons, I think it was my squad guy, right? He was an MPS. He was able to carry a Type 11 machine gun, which I thought was very comparable to like the 50 caliber or
it was the 30 cal.
30 cal, the bigger machine gun, but I didn't require a loader.
Yes,
which was really a lot more flexible, allowed us to build a different type of team. If I'd have had to have a loader, I don't know, it's just
Yeah,
it felt more efficient, I guess.
I remember playing with the Marines, and we had the NPS with the 30 cal, and he had to have
a loader.
He had to have his loader who had the tripod, because that's a separate item.
Which it just cost a lot to have that. It was dope.
It was, but you had to focus on keeping them together in the same area, and then they would be susceptible to, like, grenade and mortar attacks that do area damage.
Yeah.
So having him just walking around...
So I guess the trade-off, though, was my guy only had 2 actions if he was healthy.
Yes.
If he got hurt, he went down to 1 action, and then it was virtually impossible to
you move, shoot, and
deploy the bipod, shoot. And when you shoot a machine gun, you end up running out of ammo quite often because you're rolling 3 dice, and your odds of getting those reload numbers is much, much better.
Yes.
So that was a difference. I thought that felt very interesting. The other thing I noticed about the weapons is there's a horse, by the way.
The cavalry horse. That's
and
cool.
it's not a weapon, but it's an equipment.
You just
cavalry horse that basically got a move for that soldier every turn.
And he's +2 to the movement value, and you can carry a bunch of stuff on it as well.
That was kind of cool. We didn't use that, but I did notice they
have a lot of bayonets, too.
They have a lot of bayonets. The Shin Gunto, the one-handed melee sword, that's a pretty dope sword. You start with 2 XP as well. That would have been a good thing to maybe throw on somebody just for the XP.
Yeah, and because the melee weapons,
they're kind of...
With the allies, you're like, it's my K-bar knife. And these guys have a freaking sword, and they got the machetes.
Yeah, a little bit better.
And what was neat is, on their carbines, a lot of them come free with a bayonet. Which doesn't add to your loadout and doesn't cost them. That was
interesting. Just like you said, there was a lot of flavor, just some different elements. I think that's the way these expansions are really built. They're trying to make it feel like you're playing with Russians or you're playing with the British. We don't have the British one. We would love to get that one and try that one out.
Yeah.
So those were some of the different. Did you notice any different skills? The duty was a good one.
The duty, that was a new skill that's unique, where you can just remove a suppression from another soldier.
But I felt like there was another American skill that was like that, but I can't remember the name. It's a rank,
and I think it's sergeant or lieutenant, and those are much more expensive. More. And you can only have them on specific guys.
Right.
Whereas there's actually quite a lot of guys who have duty in the deck. Or there's at least 3 or 4, but
right.
So that's just a neat little thing. And the other thing is, with each of these expansions, you get a couple of missions, you get a couple of locations, you get a couple of objectives, and it just adds. Like my location deck for the Pacific's now pretty thick.
It is very thick,
and so there's just nuanced different places.
Yeah,
and those things. When you see a combination of all the cards, that's where you start to be like, this is, it is more, it is different.
Yeah.
With my different guys in a different location, fighting with different weapons against different enemies. When that all combines, the feel is different. The enemies we were fighting against were very tough, I felt. They were like, they were Americans, Marines,
Well,
boy, it's hard to kill them.
Those elite...
The elite
mortar team was just brutal. Basically on a roll of, what was his roll?
If he rolled a 1, it was a miss.
Yeah, if he rolled a 2 or higher, he's going to wound you. And it's just, and an 8+ is a wound to everybody in that location. That's brutal.
Yeah.
That was really good. So you could feel the difference in the Marines being a little tougher, a little more skilled. How did you think about, we talked about this while we were playing and before, we were the Japanese trying to kill Americans.
So that stuff doesn't really bother me.
Okay.
That's just, in all war games, I'm able to divorce myself from what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Like when we play Eastern Front games, I'm not like, I'm not thinking of all the death squads and all of the, liquidation stuff that went on. That's not what I'm doing in a game. I don't feel that way in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't feel cringy and bad about it.
I think I felt cringy initially, but as you move into the game, I think you start, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game intended to be enjoyable and to teach you something about history and fighting styles and different units, and I think this does that. I don't know if it bothers me that much.
That was the other thing. The Japanese, even their low-level guys, I felt my guys had really good movement values compared to the Americans.
They're good at moving around swamps and jungles.
The jungles much easier than the Americans.
That was something I noticed.
Something that was very stood out to me.
Well, you can look at these are the enemies. That's not. Anyway, that was definitely a difference. I think that we noticed. So, are these expansions worth it? We've played a couple. We've done shore invasions. We've done the metals. We've done. What are the other ones that we've played? We've played a couple.
Yeah, the shore invasion's dope.
The fortifications, because we had like pillboxes.
Yeah.
Really hard, by the way.
There's a bunch. We've played a bunch of these.
So these expansions, I mean, individually they're around $20.
I think less than that.
15 to 20?
15 to 20, depending where you get them.
You get about 60 cards.
Yeah.
Is that worth it? So for $15 to $20 to get 60 new cards.
Well, how they... So... Because
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just trying to have that...
Some of them, absolutely. The shore invasions,
is very
I recommend that for everyone. I'm going to do a whole video on that.
And we played the shore invasions in both the ETO and the PTO game.
Yeah.
Haven't we? We did a Normandy one, and we did...
Those are so fun.
Yeah, it's very different.
Very different style of game. That is an expansion that changes the game.
Yeah. Because it adds the extra location at the beginning. You have to get off it, or you're going to basically take damage.
And it's a fixed board, and it's a short board, and all the enemies at the end.
Yeah.
And so you're just trying to not die, get onto the beaches, and then kill everyone.
It feels different, kind of mechanically.
Yes. But with these flavor ones, you got to get two, basically. Because you got to buy the Japanese, and you got to buy
the enemies.
And when you do that, you get a pretty decent amount of game in there. And it's just more. If you are playing Warfighter, you're also collecting Warfighter.
Well,
let's be honest.
And we're kind of doing both, frankly.
So,
and it's a great... I enjoy it. We have played this 7 or 8 times. I have not enjoyed it at all. Now, we lost this match, which it always hurts.
Because we lost on the very last turn, because it was a terrible
roll. Well, we just did not... We had to make those choices between... And we're trying to get some cards to help us. And it's like I had to use an action to get some cards, and then we just didn't have enough to do 3 wounds. And you rolled extremely well. You just missed the penetration number.
I missed the penetration number.
You had like a 9 and an 8. You would have killed them. But that's the way it is. The game's really cool. I enjoy it. I think the expansions are very, very neat.
And it's nice because you can pick and choose too.
Yes.
With all that's out there, with the European theater, with the Pacific theater, you can collect it all.
Yeah.
And I know some of you are doing that. And it's awesome.
It would take a long time to collect it all.
But you don't have to. If you want to say, I just want the Japanese and the Americans and the Pacific, I can do that.
So you could buy 2 of the little packs, and then you could just mix that in with what you got, and you could play 150 times before you're really experiencing everything.
So much with that.
Because there's so many objectives and missions and locate. It's really unlimited replayability.
But if you wanted, you can just buy the European box, and then you can buy like the 2 French expansions, and just do French against Germans, and that could be a thing.
Would that be fun though?
I mean, you do.
Okay, sorry, I didn't say that.
You can buy everything, absolutely.
You could,
but you don't have to.
No.
But just know that the kind of the faction expansions, so to speak,
are kind of cool.
Are really neat.
Yeah, we talked about getting the Russians.
Yeah.
And the British.
Because the Russians add whole sets of locations, objectives, and missions. It's totally different events. So that's like almost a whole other game.
It's more.
Yes.
It's just more.
So there's a lot out there. But this was just the Japanese PCs and the American Hostels. It was fun, and it was different.
Yeah.
It was different enough, and that was cool.
Do we have the German PCs?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we have the German Hostels, obviously, but not the German PCs. That's one we might need to try to pick up.
But then you've got to get the American, European
because these are Pacific. Yeah,
these are Marines.
So it's a little bit of a slippery slope. I mean, that's the reality. You got to buy these little, and they look so innocent. Just these little packs of cards.
Yeah,
but
it's dangerous.
And you can look down that website. I think I want to say there's 40 or 50 of them, right? I mean, it seems like there's
Finnish expansions.
Yeah, we have Korean War.
I want to play the Finnish stuff so badly.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, just to try it out.
I know.
So it's really a lot. I mean, you can get overwhelmed like by an avalanche of cards, but that's why you bought the Well, and I have a
Yeah,
Warfighter ammo
you
crate
get the
too.
Foot Locker. And
We got it for how much?
I got this on consignment for $25.
Which is
All my cards are in here. And
there's dividers.
they just came out with new dividers. And the new dividers, which I have in here,
Yep.
actually divide
They don't say Warfighter at the top.
Yes, they actually put the card type at the top
With Warfighter underneath.
so that when it's all lined up, you can see what
they
it is
are
instead of everything
Yeah.
saying Warfighter. So they've listened to your feedback and they have corrected it.
Yeah.
And so new dividers, those are if you have this, new dividers are available. Those are a must-have.
And that's probably worth it, yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely say the expansions are worth it. I've enjoyed this. I can't wait to play some of the other ones. And we're going to do some other videos
Yeah, what
as
I'll
we
do
play
is
through them.
I'll shoot a separate video of a playthrough with the Japanese so you can see that. And then we'll probably do some more videos on things like the shore invasions.
Yep.
We might do some tanks. if
Well,
we
see,
can
and
get there.
we have the tanks, but we have not played with the tanks yet.
No.
And the tanks are really cool because they have anti-tank weapons.
Yeah, you have a whole anti-tank
Bazookas
weapon
and
deck,
yeah.
and you have a whole like vehicles of like
Yeah.
there's tanks, but there's also half tracks,
Yep.
and jeeps, and all this kind of stuff.
So those are things we need to mix in. We also have the zombie expansion, and I want to play it very badly. I love those.
Yeah, that's just gonna be corny. There's
we
a
have
holy
not-
hand grenade.
Yeah. Which just sounds... It's holy water.
It's holy water.
It's holy
Okay.
water. You're throwing it like a grenade. I mean, that just sounds dope.
Yeah.
We need to play those. We just haven't played them yet.
There's a ton of it out there, but just wanted to, we've played with the Japanese here, and it was just cool. I wanted to let you guys know that was awesome, and you'll see a video, another playthrough of that, because I think I did one of the Pacific
You
Theater.
did. You did.
And I think I cocked up one of the rules. But
Yeah. Well, and we played this cooperatively today.
Yes.
You can play this up... Isn't it up to 4?
You could play it up to 4.
You just kind of divide what you've got.
I would start doing some of the bigger missions with the more resources, maybe.
And we've played this quite a bit together.
Yes.
You've played it a couple times solo. I've played it a couple of times solo. So if you got a buddy that likes these kind of progressional, very, I don't want to say regimented, but it has a system that you
structure.
just follow. And anybody can get through it, but man, there's a lot here. I love it. I love it. Every time we think about playing it, I'm like, yes, let's play it.
Yeah, it's never one of those
Every
games
time.
where you're like, oh, should we do
Yeah.
this? I'm like,
Every time.
yes.
Every time. I'll never say no. You know me.
Yes. So, appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Japanese expansions and the American Hostels expansions for Warfighter World War II Pacific. Super duper fun. Check them out. Those are available now. And I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.